This week on The Riff, Drew and Justin riff on production. Gather all your tech nerds around the same table.
This one is sure to reach 88 miles per hour, consuming 1.21 gigawatts of power to activate the flux capacitor.
If you got that Back to the Future reference, you'll love this episode. And if you didn't, Martz is back next week. We hope today is helpful. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to The Riff.
I was just waiting for you to start.
It's time for The Riff.
I'm a little freaked out about the lava lamp right now. Can you see that on the video?
No, it's behind you.
Look at this thing.
Look at that lava lamp.
Look at this thing.
It's great.
No, it's not. It's not
'Cause
lava.
you can't see it.
Well, it's not lava-ing right now.
It's doing something. You need to move it?
Yeah, there you go. It looks like you know when the aliens were like in the tubes.
Oh, yeah.
In Independence Day.
That's gross.
Yeah,
I see
looks
it
like
now.
that. It's
I
a
stick an
weird-
umbilical cord in there.
It's weird. It looks weird. Yeah.
Very strange.
All right, another riff episode.
Another Riff episode with the one and only Justin Glenn. Since I got Justin in here, one of the things people may not know about Justin, how long have you worked at North Point?
This is 17 years.
Are you the longest tenured employee at the church?
I think so. Jody and I are really close.
Yeah.
I'm like 6 months ahead of her.
So where did you start at North Point? How did you end up working here?
I started working here as a contract employee. So even before that, like 20 years ago. And I would just fix. Okay. They put in a lot of equipment here.
Yeah.
Like specifically at the Springfield campus. They did a massive rehaul and they put these massive projectors in. Huge. And then didn't have anybody on staff that knew how to take care of them.
Yeah.
And they were water cooled.
Water cooled.
Yeah,
So
which
like a
means-
radiator type of deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then when I got there and I was like, oh, when's the last time you put water in them? They looked at me like I was a fool.
Yeah.
And then
Like the joke, like
2
watering your
months,
plant.
3 months after that, one had exploded, like the lamp housing.
Yeah.
And then they called and they're like, hey, I think you need to come.
Can you come water our projectors?
I was like, yeah, they take water, guys.
Yeah.
Like, so I started there. I started just fixing gear.
What year was that? That would have been 2006?
2006. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was right before.
What did the water cooled projector cost in 2006?
I bet those were 25, somewhere in that area.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were only a 10K.
Yeah.
Crazy? Isn't that crazy? They were only a 10K. That's so wild.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So part of your expertise, the live production is. So Joe, you're the executive pastor of church. You run a lot of things for North Point and have for a long time. But you started doing live production, and you still do live production. It's still kind of like you're a unicorn in a weird sense, where like you run a lot of the operations in side of the church, but your like true like genius skill set is live production.
Yeah, that's my passion. Like I love that art form.
How did you get into it? Like how did that start?
My dad. So he was in the IATSE forever. What IATSE is International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. So it's the union throughout the United States for any kind of theater show, concert, all that. He was the BA for the local chapter here because he was the business agent. So he was the one that was running the operations for it. And then he left the union and started his own business. So that was in 1997. And then he just went from there. So I grew up in it. I grew up going to shows. I grew up in bars, like for real.
Yeah.
I was in my first bar when I was 11.
Yeah.
But I also feel like that's why I didn't really get into drinking. So
Yeah, you see enough.
Like, you see enough of it at a really early age, and you have a great mom and dad that's leading you through it. And you're like, oh, yeah, if I drink, I'll probably want to be responsible.
Yeah, that's where that road goes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I had a few of those like super scarring. I was a pretty straight edge kid in high school. It was like my years after high school, but my first exposure to like alcohol was like just people binge drinking hard, like 17 years old, and just like messy, horrible like situations people ended up in. And so my buddies, like, my first exposures to it just scared me so much. I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. You did what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were some interesting things in those days.
So the North Point has been doing kind of big production for a long time, in a sense of just like understanding that we're trying to create an experience. Like early North Point, we were trying to create an experience for people long before that was like a normal thing for a church to do.
Yeah, when Jamie and I got here, we got here in like 05, 06, and it was not like high produced, high like production value. They were moving into that space as we got here. And I was parking cars. That was my first volunteer job here.
Parking cars.
Yeah, in the parking lot team.
Like parking lot team, but you weren't like
Yeah, I
valet
wasn't like
parking.
a valet. I wish.
Yeah.
That would have been.
We should get a valet service.
I feel like that.
New revenue stream. Be like, North Point VIPs will give you valet park your car.
I love it.
That'll go over really well.
It was a great time. It was me as like a 20-year-old man and a bunch of 50-year-old guys. And it was odd. It was such a weird thing.
There was a shift too, because I know it went to like I've heard legends of of some of the days where like again early 2000s, late 2000s, it became this thing of like putting on like they did what, you know, the internet was just becoming a thing. Social media YouTube was just becoming a thing where you could begin to like stream stuff, and so this idea of doing something visually interesting became even bigger part of church, and is how I reach in people. And so there's all kinds of things, and like, you know, people look at different eras of the church, and to me it's just interesting. But we did like pyrotechnics and stuff. I heard we still got the old pyrotechnic stuff at Springfield.
Sure do. Anytime you want, whenever you want to fire that baby up.
So we talking about like sparkle fire or like fire?
Flames.
Like
flame.
Can we
massive-
shoot flames off?
Oh yeah. Oh, of course we can.
Yeah.
Anytime. You have just a keyword. We'll hit them every time.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Oh. Did you ever go to the power team back in the day? Like
I missed out on the power team.
You didn't miss
I
much.
missed out.
Yeah,
I was
but
at
they
the
had
bars.
like a power where they would say like, "Ah," you know, and then like the flames would shoot off and they tear a phone book in half. I got to come up with something like that. But I've heard stories. So like one of the legends is biggest Easter we ever had, 10,000 plus people, and the opener of the service was Highway to Hell with pyrotechnics going off.
Sympathy for the Devil actually was the opener.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and pyro. And then we had a massive sheet on a kabuki that dropped.
Yeah.
And then that sheet went over the entire like congregation. It was crazy. But the first time it happened, it didn't work well. So
yeah, what happened?
The power went out. So we overloaded breakers because we had dry ice machine. We had so much going on.
Yeah.
The breaker tripped and we couldn't get the kabuki to drop.
Define kabuki.
A kabuki is a large piece of cloth that's covering the entire stage.
Yeah.
So you can't see through it, and then you can project through it, shadows and light. And then that whole sheet pretty much drops at once to then like reveal the stage.
Yeah.
And then we had another sheet on the ground that made it feel like it was dropping and then going over everybody. Well, it didn't really work out. So then you've got people coming out, starting to sing. Then we finally get it like 2 minutes in. We drop the kabuki. And then everybody that's like, it was all manual. So people had to run the sheet over people.
Yeah.
But you couldn't see because it was in the dark because it was at the wrong time. So then we end up clotheslining a woman. Like it's not. Well, I'm like, what are we doing?
We've gone too far.
Another person falls, twists her ankles, almost breaks it. Because it's like.
Is this when the camel comes in and kicks somebody?
It was chaos. Yeah. So yeah, we've done a couple of things like that. So that was a wild Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like that's pretty crazy though. So in those meetings, what did that creative process look like? Where people were like, we could do this and that, and then like
yes and no, right? Like I really am a true believer in like production and like theater and all of that is a true art form. And I think that you can take that and put it inside of like the church ecosystem and it can become really, really gross, really, really fast.
Yeah.
Because it does become this like, oh, we're going to entertain, we're going to do this. In the season that was, it really wasn't how do we entertain. It wasn't like, let's make sure that this is this. There was a thing that in those days, it was Tommy was the pastor in those days. He was a massive personality. There was a thing. I think that production surrounds the personality of the art. The sermon is an art form.
Yeah.
The music is an art form. Like all of these pieces of art are just to speak to people in different ways. That's all it is. Like music is crazy because even without words, like you listen to classical music, there's still emotion involved. There's deep emotion.
I was watching like World Cup recently and like they sing these national anthems.
Right? Like
and it's like the players are crying, like people are, you know what I'm saying? But like you think about the emotion that's evoked with that.
Right. And you think about doing that as a spoken word.
Yeah.
There's probably not as much. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it when you put it with something like that there's something in your soul that like screams out? Like it's a really cool art form, I think. So in those creative meetings, it was never like, how do we one up it? It was never that. It was this whole thing of, if somebody is walking in those days, we wanted to give them an absolute like shock moment, but not shock for like, oh, look at what they're doing. The whole idea was like, and Tommy would say it is like, if you put me into Dallas Stadium and I'm speaking to 100,000 people, Highway to Hell is the first thing that I'm going to sing. Because I want everybody in that space to be like, what?
You're right.
So it's the whole idea of like, in that type of space, like what opens the mind, what opens the heart. And it's something that a lot of people had never seen in church in this area 20 years ago. It's a lot. Like you go into the United States now and it's actually pretty prominent, like large production and pyro, all this, right? In those days, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And when people were coming in, it wasn't like, oh, awesome. This is like, it was like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have an art form of a sermon coming out that wraps all of that together. Yeah. Right. So
man, creating that every 52 times, I know like 52 times a year.
Yeah.
Sounds exhausting.
It was tiring after a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. But it's just, I just truly believe like you cannot just put something together, and then hope it like matches up with what you're going to speak, with what you're going to like. It for me, it has to go together to actually like be this. It's an art form. It's a piece of art that's being created. And the challenge is you've got a bunch of artists that's all making these different spaces come to life in one thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how those creative meetings were.
Talk to me about like how you've seen like production change over the years at North Point, but also like you mentioned, like the trends, of like what churches do. Technology's gotten cheaper, buildings have gotten bigger, like all those things. And like, how do you view it today? Like 2026 today, I think some of those principles still apply. But how do you think it's changed over the years? How do you see it today?
I think it's obviously more accessible, right? To have a production or to have, and when I say production, I don't mean show. Like that's not what, how do you define even it? That the church was really afraid of that word. I was not the production director because they wouldn't call me that. I was the media director.
Yeah.
Just because people were like, it's not a show. And I'm like, have you ever been to one? Because they're actually pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like there's some moving things that happen in the theater. There's moving things that happen in concerts. Like everything is God's. Like I don't get like there's no like so yeah. All of that to say, I think that today, like when you look at production as a whole within the church, I think it's really accessible, which I also think is why it's really dangerous. Because I see a lot of things being used in ways that the technology is there, but the intentionality isn't, right? Like it doesn't matter where the technology is. And we've been in spaces at North Point to where finances were not in great shape, and we still had, I believe, a great representation of what we were trying to do, but we didn't have the technology to do it. We just had the intentionality to do it. And if you've got like the will to figure it out, I promise you'll figure it out. Like, we'll get it done. Yeah. So I think there's that. There's a piece to where church specifically, you can get into spaces to where people are either trying things because the other church down the road tried it, and you're like, oh, that's not good. Like you can't, that's not the art form. Production is just the brushes. Like that's all it is. Yeah. It's not the actual canvas. So if you don't have that canvas mentality, it really is weird. Yeah. And then you look at like theater and production outside of the church, and there's a big shift. I mean, there's two different camps, right? But the big shift is really going to this large production to where you don't realize it's a production, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you go to like a Trans-Siberian Orchestra and it's like, oh, there's an insane amount of lighting and I know it, and it's a light show. You go to a Mumford & Sons and they have just the same amount of gear, but you would never guess it because of how they're using it, how they're painting it, how they're doing things with it, that it's a beautiful art form. Yeah. Like, and then theater's always been like that. You never know how much stuff is actually inside of that production. Yeah. But it's a lot. right? It's a ton of stuff, but you're trying to hide it because you're trying to tell a story through it. You're telling a story through audio. You're telling a story through lighting. You're telling a story through color. Like, that's all you're doing. So it's just understanding that aspect of it. So yeah, that was a long answer.
No, it's good. What are some things too, like the average person walking into a church on a Sunday? What are some maybe guardrails or handles that we have at North Point that are just kind of like principles that we operate by? So when it comes to lighting, sound, stage,
Okay.
what
so
are some,
yeah. When you talk about like audio, it's loud at North Point. And that's not because it's like, just get as loud. They've been doing something, Ben Thorne is at it, Nixa, and the way he's been mixing has been really great. And we're trying actually a couple of different things at all of the campuses to try to really figure out like, what is that feel that we're going for that matches with you, with your tone, with your like, it cannot look the same as it has the last 13 years, right? As just it couldn't have looked the same when Jeremy got here from like, it has to change, right? So one of those things that we're trying to figure out is how do you create these moments that are not like silent, but they're quieter to where you can actually hear people sing, right? But also in a way that doesn't exclude the person that has no idea what the words are or what is being sung, right?
Yep.
So that's a key. And with that, even lighting, right? We would not want house lights up at full because of who is standing next to you.
Yeah.
So if you are like belting it out, right? Like just loving it. And the next person to your right is like, I have no idea what these songs are.
Yeah.
Turn the lights up. And now I just feel completely exposed. And I'm reminded I don't belong here. Got it. I get it, guys. You bring those lights down a little bit and it allows that person to at least just kind of sit and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, right? There's a curiosity that we're trying to allow in the room. And it's important. So even like we'll walk in and we're like, no, 5% up, 3% down. Like it's that, right? And right now it's very like, okay, how do we, nope, that didn't feel right. Oh, how's Drew coming out? Oh, he's coming out like it's a science lab right now, right? Like figuring out like what are those ingredients that we're going to put into that space. But what we do know is through production, we don't want to alienate, like number one, like we cannot.
Yeah.
Like, period. So while I get excited about everybody singing in the room, I'm actually thinking about the one person that's not.
Yeah.
That's what I'm actually like concerned about. Even though my excitement is, oh yeah, the room. I love it. I love a loud room. But man, a really loud room makes it really tough for that one person that doesn't know what we're singing about.
Yeah.
That maybe is like, I don't even believe this, right? Like,
yeah.
That's what we're concerned about when we're creating those production moments. Yeah.
I think it's interesting, like, because I've noticed it in Nick's a couple of times. I've been there recently where the worship team will like back off the mics and they create a quieter moment. And I can actually hear the church singing.
Yep.
And there's something to that, right? That's one, exciting. Yeah, I like that. Also, like, I can see why if like I don't know the words of the song, oh, now everyone knows I'm the one not singing.
Right.
You know, but then there's also something powerful. I go back to the World Cup. You know, the national anthem.
Yes.
When you hear 1,000 people singing, when you hear the voices singing in unison, it does something.
100%.
So there's a power in that.
Yep.
How would you describe that? Like, how do you see it?
It's a collective moan and groan of like humanity. Like, even if you don't know the words, there's something powerful in everyone else knowing the words, right?
Yeah.
As long as we can do it in a way that doesn't alienate you and put you into a space to where you feel like, oh shoot, I don't know the words.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thought of like, even when we do those moments, like what do you do with lighting? Like my preference would be, you got to even like go like darker at that moment.
Yeah.
Right. You don't go brighter with a moment where you get more engagement. You go darker because that way people can kind of sit and soak what is actually happening, because there's something powerful when you gather people into a room.
Yeah.
And there's something really powerful when that room is doing something collectively to where, you know, I saw him and I saw him and they don't get along. Well, I saw him. He definitely doesn't believe what he believes.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that but they're all like, it shows you that we're kind of like maybe all in this together.
Yeah. It's the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's not about how you how you vote or what neighborhood you live in. It's like, yeah, we're the great unifier. Like sometimes on Sundays I look out from where I'm standing on the stage and I'll look out and I see the diversity in the room, and it could always be more diverse, whatever. But just even like from an age, demographic, neighborhood, what I know about certain people, I'm like, man, these two, literally the only thing they have in common is Jesus.
Right.
But that's enough.
Yeah.
And I think there's like an element of like, you go back to the part of like, when everyone's singing together, not making it awkward. I can't remember right now, but there's one part in the national anthem that I forget what comes next. I can't remember which one it is. It's like, and then Rockets, there's like one transition to those phrases where you're singing it, like, and I'm like, the rock,
Got it.
And I'm like, don't make me say it out loud. Where it's like, I know what you mean though. Cause like, if I don't know the words to the song and everyone's singing it and the words aren't on the screen, then it's like, wow, I feel like an idiot. Cause like everyone knows this and I don't. I hope no one noticed that I didn't know because now they know that I'm new.
Right.
Or like sometimes, there's power in like history too, right? So I'll be in church settings where people start to sing an older hymn that like, yeah, if you grew up in church, there's nostalgia to that song. There's like connection to that song. That's the one my grandma, and it does evoke something in a lot of people, but it also then can alienate people who are like, I've never heard that song. Because I've been around this church thing for like 3 months and I'm still kind of like learning. I'm hoping that people don't know I'm new still. And now everyone's singing a song that they all grew up with that I've never heard before. Like it's unifying for one, but can be alienating for another. And I think if you're here like listening, like, and you're a longtime church person, you don't think about that until like you need to. And that's one of the reasons that like, why is it so loud? It's not because we're like trying to be the loudest church. That's actually not helpful. Why is it dark? There's some intentionality behind it. And it's not just about light and dark. It's even like, I think even like learning about lighting and some of those things, I don't always think about those things. How much is too much? How much is not enough? How much is creating art and how much is creating a distraction? Because I've also been in churches where like the moving lights going all over the church, it's just like, like laser light in my eyeball. Not helpful.
Right. And we had that season. Like we would have a lot, we had lasers. Like it was not.
Yeah.
But again, it's this idea of energy and this idea of matching the tone of the one who's painting the sermon, right? Like it's going hand in hand with that. And that's why I say it's at times dangerous with other churches to where like what's being spoken on stage and the energy or the style, and then what just happened within worship, and they're just not joining together, right? It's like, well, we've got it, so just use it. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why? One of the Bob Dylan is not my favorite concert to go to, but one of the most brilliant things that they do is with their lighting. They do no front lighting, which is fascinating on him. And it's all side, it's all back, it's all silhouetted, and they have a ton of movers, and you would never know it, right? But they're matching. I mean, he's like 108, so it's like very slow. But they're matching the tonality, and they're matching the singer-songwriter essence of what he is, and they're creating that art piece. To where if they've got all of those instruments, as far as like lighting fixtures, doing what they can do, be like, what do you? Stop.
Yeah, you're showing off the stuff.
What are you doing?
Which I think when that was a differentiator early, like in maybe the church 15, 20 years ago, just the fact that you had it was this differentiator. Right. So if you got it, it's like having a Ferrari. Well, you better go
drive it.
Better drive fast, paint it red, burn out at every stoplight. You got to show you got it.
Right.
But now it's because it's like available. It's like, well, it's not just showing you how, like, that's not really helpful. I went to Chris Stapleton at is it Buffalo Ridge? Thunder Ridge? What's it called? Thunder Ridge. And, that was a couple summers ago, and him and it's his wife that sings with him and I didn't like really know that. And so then like, I'm like, who's she? I didn't realize his wife could sing too. I just, guess I'm not that big of a fan. Right. But like the lighting was it was not crazy. And there, even in the staging, there was points where they were actually pointed towards each other, and you could tell they were singing this meaningful song to each other. And it was almost like the way it was staged and lit and everything was like, oh, like I'm actually now seeing the depth of this song because they're singing it facing each other, not even facing the audience. It created a whole different emotional response and a whole different experience. Like it was like way more powerful, and it was very simply lit in the whole thing, man. Yes. So like some of those things, like I don't normally think about any of this. Like this is a language I don't even know what's happening, but like, but we do respond to it,
For sure.
There's an artist behind the thing creating the environment that you're walking into.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super interesting. What do you think the future looks like? You've been doing this for a long time. The world is changing. You and I are getting old. Think about your kids, like all that 15. It gets hard to predict, but like, what do you think the future looks like in this space?
I think that there's a shift that will happen. I don't think bigness goes away. I don't think like production goes away. But I think there's a realness that will be the next phase. Meaning, when you go to a show, when you go to a church, when you go to a concert, like for me, it's all the same thing. Like it's just art.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're talking about like iMag, or you're talking about like what's on the screens, right? I think your closer shots, like how can I connect with your eyes?
Yeah.
Like that's going to be important. Like that's going to be really, really important. How do I bring you closer in, right? How do I bring you into a more of an engaged environment, to where I feel like I'm a part of this?
Yeah.
I know I go back to Mumford, but I just feel like they do it so good, like so good. But this whole idea of like all of their lighting, like they have festoon lights from all of their rig, right? That goes out into the audience, right? All through it. So then you're covered in light and all of that is moving together within the stage. Then they have a B stage behind you. So then they're moving in and out. He's getting on. Like, it's just this like, it's not stage and people. It's somehow like this like convergence of both.
Dude, I've been thinking about that exact concept. Just like for me as speaking, I'm like, how does this feel like more of a dialogue than a monologue?
I know.
You know what I mean?
There's a off-Broadway show right now. I don't know the name of it, but it's based on a masquerade ball, and you actually don't get a seat. You get a mask, and you become part of the ball, and that's how you have to like move through. And they're actually acting out and doing the scenes inside of the space that you're in, even though you're not an actor. You're like in the space, right? Which is just like, for me, that's what somebody on their phone for 15 hours a day is going to be like, wait, what, they're doing what?
Yeah.
Like I want to try that out, right? Like that's going to be the shocking moment now for people. It's not going to be lasers and it's not going to be pyro. It's not going to be those things that shock that type of a person. It's going to be the piece of,
dude,
wait, what are they doing? Like,
I've been thinking about how like the church needs to become the most, someone said it to me in a stock. They're like, yeah, the church needs to become the most human place in someone's week.
Yeah.
And like, because everything's getting so fake and artificial and on screens and like not interactive and no eyeball to eyeball, real human to human connection, you know, but like you just said that, I'm like, yeah, how do you, because back then it was, they can do what? That's incredible. The new incredible is actually real.
Yeah.
And connected.
And I think too, like you don't want to pendulate too far to where it's like, yeah, so just get rid of all of it.
Yeah.
It's like,
no.
Well, that's not, production in itself is amoral. Like there's not like, this is like an AI conversation where people are like, it's the devil.
Yeah.
It's Jesus incarnate. Like it's not it's just like nuclear. Like it can either be used for war or it can be used for power. Like I can light your home with it or I can destroy the world. Yeah. It's how people use it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't think there's like a shift that erases that from the church or erases that from anything, but it is, how do you use it in a way that connects me on a level that I had no idea that I was hungry for?
Man, that's super interesting. There's a lot of applications for that.
Yeah.
I feel like let's go for another hour.
Yeah.
But we're running out of time.
We're at 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't want to go
And there's
past 30
two
minutes.
groups of people right now. There's one group who listen to this and are like, incredible, awesome. And the other half checked out 10 minutes in. They're like, I don't even know what?
Did you say 10K? What did that mean?
What? What you got to learn is, hey, if you haven't watered your projector this week, make sure you water
your projectors. But here's the deal: whatever you find yourself doing, like with production, I know this has been like a very technical conversation, but I'm like, it's the same thing in any workplace. One of the things I love that you brought to this whole thing of North Point, is the workplace and how you show up in those spaces.
Yeah,
like that's what it is. Like whatever you're doing, that's an art form.
Yeah,
like, you're creating something that's pointing to something else. Like accounting, whether you're at T-Mobile, whether like it's all the same,
and it's all for the glory of God. Like you're joining Jesus in the creation of making all things new.
Yeah,
and the way you design that code, Like
Right.
the way you move that spread, the way you move that data around to tell a different story, the way you treat that customer, like even like the way you build that home or you craft that,
Right.
It's like all of it. You're making all things new. Like we're all creating.
Right.
Like we're all creators. And like that's what God is. He is a creator. And like we become more like Him the more creative we get in whatever space that looks like. For some people, they don't even walk into church and understand the amount of creativity that went into pulling certain things off. But another times, like walk into Costco. You know what I mean? Someone created in there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Someone
Yes.
designed that end cap. Someone actually stacked those shirts on that. You know what I mean? I know it sounds silly, but it's like
doesn't sound silly.
there's someone
Every
back there
time-
creating a cake. You know what I mean? They're
Every time
creating.
I walk into Costco, I am like jaw dropped because of the flooring.
Really?
Yeah, it's such great polished concrete. It is. But I'm
Someone's.
like, what a craftsman! Like that is like
Yeah.
like for real. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just awesome.
I'm gonna look at it next time I'm there.
It's great.
You ever go to Sam's Club?
I'm more of a Costco guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of bougie like that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It's the samples.
You too good for
can't-
Sam's Club.
No, it's just that I can have a
Look,
day at Costco.
I'm a man of the people. I'm
I
a
can-
Sam's Clubber. Dude, Costco doesn't have curbside pickup. Is that true?
I don't know. I can go into Costco and have a full meal and not even spend $1. Just through all the little samples.
I can go to Sam's Club and get a
like
get
a
a hot
seven
dog
foot-
and a slice for like $6.
No.
Samples probably not as good,
But you can
yeah.
go back and back and back. I just put my glasses on and off every time I
Different
show
guy,
up.
completely
And they're
different guy. Does it have a funny nose and a mustache on it by any chance?
A mustache over my mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dual level mustache. We're over time, folks. This,
All
is,
right.
this is going downhill fast.
No, we're done.
All right, Riff. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Riff. We'll have a brand new episode every week, wherever you find podcasts.